My name is Phil Shaffer, and it's a real honor for me to be here today as part of this celebration. This is not only a celebration of life, but it's a celebration of love. Sylvia's love of life, love of family, friends, and learning. Now, there was a time to shed some tears. Today is a time for us to share stories, smiles, and some laughter. Sylvia was born, Sylvia Ansoon Park, on January 28, 1937, in Honolulu, to Young Ho and Mary Ann Park. Her father was a highly respected dentist. Her mother was a preschool teacher. Sylvia was the first of 6 children and grew up with 2 sisters, Charlotte and Lorna, and 3 brothers, Ed, Wayne, and Cook. Now, Cook's real name was Stanley, but Sylvia came up with the name Cook because he liked cookies so much. But she changed the spelling from a C to a K because he was such a big fan of Ed Kooky Burns from the '77 Sunset Strip series. Sadly, Cook preceded Sylvia in death last December. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of Cliff's brothers, 3 of his brothers, Frank, Wayne, and Dan, and we have a number of nieces and nephews, grandnieces and grandnephews. Instead of reading their names, I'm just going to say briefly that cut this. Cut.
No, that's fine.
Is that, you'll cut it?
Yeah, we'll cut it.
Oh, that's much better. I kind of like this when you get ad lib. Oh, yeah.
Anytime you want to, just count in your head to 10.
Count to 10.
Stop and
Okay.
pick up where you want.
That's a tough crowd. I'll tell you, this is a tough crowd.
There you go.
Tough crowd. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Cliff's 3 brothers, Frank, Wayne, and Dan. There are nieces and nephews, grandnieces and grandnephews also to acknowledge. And I hate to say it this time, is that unfortunately Garrett is deceased, one of his nephews. Sylvia and Cliff loved each and every nephew and niece, and were very excited with the addition of each grandnephew and grandniece. They'd often speak about the family members with great pride and love. Sylvia always wanted to be a teacher, and after high school, she went to a small college in Angwin, California, called Pacific Union College. She did her student teaching in Napa Valley. At 26 years of age, Sylvia was living and teaching in Los Angeles. One of her friends had a cousin that she wanted introduced to Sylvia. Her cousin was this handsome young man named Cliff Murashiro, who also had grown up in Honolulu. Sylvia and Cliff were instantly smitten, and that's a really good word, very appropriate. Sylvia had said later that it was a good thing they did not meet while growing up in Honolulu, because as Cliff was this mild-mannered man, he tended to hang out with a tough crowd that Sylvia would not have approved of. Cliff described the tough crowd in Honolulu as gang members, which at the time only meant that they liked to smoke cigars and drink. Today we call them teachers and principals. Still, Sylvia would not have appreciated the company that he hung out with. When they were married on August 11, 1963, at the University Methodist Church at USC, surrounded by their friends and family. Even though they were married in Los Angeles, they brought the love of Hawaii into their wedding with hula dancers and Hawaiian flowers. And you'll notice at the tables today there are some Hawaiian flower leis there for you. Cliff and Sylvia had a full life together between their careers, traveling, and time spent with family and friends. Tragically, Cliff passed away on December 18, 2009, having celebrated their 46th wedding anniversary just 5 months before. Sylvia taught for 49 years. Now, she did tell me she really taught for 51. I figured that probably some of those classes were pretty tough, so it felt like 51 years. She first taught first grade, second grade, then 6th grade. But 6th grade was not her love, neither was first. It was 2nd grade, and she spent most of her years teaching at that level. She taught at Prairie Street Elementary until it closed. And with Sylvia and with a number of other teachers, they were moved over to Topeka Drive Elementary, where she completed her career, and that's where I had the pleasure of meeting her and teaching with her. Sylvia was very proud of the fact she was recognized in the Who Who's among America's teachers for 2 years. Now, she was a wonderful teacher, and I didn't know that her family was involved with dentistry. And when I found out, I asked her, Sylvia, did you ever thought about being a dentist? And she says, well, Phil, actually, many times I was a dentist. Teaching those children was just like pulling teeth. Sylvia had high expectations for her students, which sometimes made parents uncomfortable. But Sylvia said, regardless of the parents' concerns, her students always rose to the level that she expected. Sylvia was very dedicated to teaching, as evidenced by the endless hours she committed to preparation and working in her classroom. When you walked in, her classroom environment was exemplary, just outstanding. Her students adored her, and she maintained friendships with her students and families over the years. Sylvia was a master teacher and was sought after by CSUN for mentoring student teachers. She loved teaching, she was good at it, and she refused to retire, even when her friends and family told her it was time, that she should be out enjoying her golden years. Sylvia finally retired in June 2009 when she retired from Topeka Elementary. The school dedicated a wall mural in her honor. Sylvia always said that her success as a teacher was made easier and steadfast by the support of her late husband, Cliff. Sylvia passed away after a valiant battle with cancer on March 15th this year. We remember her grace and quiet manner and how she was always easy to talk to, and her family remembers how much she liked to eat and never gained an ounce. People make difference, and Sylvia made a difference. People who make a difference in your life are not the ones that have the most credentials, that have the most money, that have the most awards. They simply are the ones who carry and care the most.